G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, back at it again with another episode of r/Am I the A-hole. Now if you love this video like I love you, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and enjoy the bloody good content. Posted by user Undo. Titled, Am I the A-hole for not giving my cat for adoption because my girlfriend has a phobia? My girlfriend of 2 years is scared of cats, and I mean really scared of cats. I have had this cat for 7 years. At first, when she came to my place, I had to take the cat outside, close all windows or doors, and make sure that my cat didn't sneak up to play with me or something like that. Long story short, she couldn't take it anymore, and told me that she feels really uncomfortable knowing that there is a cat lurking around, and that she wouldn't come to my place again if I didn't get rid of my cat. We tried therapy, but it looks like the therapy is for me to cope with the loss of my pet. I don't want to give my cat away, so last Saturday we talked about this and broke up. Now I feel like crap for ruining my relationship. Am I the a-hole? Kitty, not knowing what is going on. Edit 1. Holy crap, I didn't expect this amount of response. Thank you everyone for taking the time and leaving your comments. It is hard to understand that things and plans sometimes doesn't work or go the way we want, and that is fine. That is life. It is harder when feelings are involved. I don't think you're an a-hole for not abandoning your cat. I think that's the right thing to do. The cat is a part of your life and the cat is family. If she can't compromise with you on some level and the phobia isn't manageable, I don't think you two are compatible to live with each other or be seeing each other like that. But you could always go to her place and she doesn't have to come around yours knowing there's a cat lurking there. There are compromises you two could make as a couple if you so want to, but I understand if you don't, and it makes sense that you did break up. Not the a-hole, but personally, if I had to choose between a pet of 7 years or a girl, I'm choosing the pet 10 out of 10 times. Why was the girlfriend an a-hole? To me, this is clearly a no a-holes here situation. Two people were just not compatible, and it happens. Because of this part. We tried therapy, but it looks like the therapy is for me to cope with the loss of my pet. She's not the a-hole for being scared of cats or not wanting to be around them, but if cats are not something she can handle, she shouldn't be dating people with cats, and she certainly shouldn't be using therapy to try to force things to go her way. If she got into the relationship with a plan to force OP to give up his cat from the beginning, then she would be an a-hole, but nothing OP said in his post suggests that. It sounds like she gave the relationship a shot and ultimately realized it wasn't working for her this way. Something that happens all the time in relationships. The therapy thing might be a different story. I think we need more info from OP for me to make a judgment on that part. She got into a relationship with someone who has a cat and she has a crippling phobia of them. Why would she ever do that if she has no intention of ousting the cat? Just read between the lines. And to address another one of your comments, yes, she tried to manipulate him via therapy. The therapy was for the loss of a pet, not to address the phobia. Yes, I'd never start dating someone who has spiders or snakes as pets. I don't date people with young children. I have no interest in them, and I think it's equally ridiculous to expect someone to give up their children for a relationship, as it is to expect someone to give up their pet. Both are family, both are part of the package. Every single post I read that has anything to do with pets, I automatically change 7-year-old cat to 7-year-old daughter/son. It makes the judgment really easy. Not the a-hole. Kitty was there first, and girlfriend sounds like she needs therapy if she's going to freak out about being anywhere near a cat. Your cat is freaking adorable, by the way. Posted by user Throwaway71735552. Titled, Am I the a-hole for giving money to one daughter and not the other? I have 3 children. Mary, 23 female, Fiona, 19 female, and Jacob, 7 male. My daughters are from my first marriage. Jacob is my husband's son. Mary was always the responsible one. She had good grades and was very responsible with money. She worked from age 16 onwards every summer, and after she graduated, she picked up a job that she held throughout university. I know for a fact that she saved most of the money, using it only for major purposes. I was always very proud of her for the fact that she could pay for everything herself and never asking for a single cent. Fiona, on the other hand, was never good with money. She had several low-paying jobs over the last few summers, but spent everything she had on clothes or other accessories she really didn't need. When she turned 18, I paid for her driver's license. I also gave her an allowance of $20 a week since she got a boyfriend, so she could occasionally pay for dates, etc. Fiona moved in with her boyfriend this January after we got into a pretty nasty fight. We have since made amends, and she receives $300 a month from her father. Note that I occasionally pay for her expenses, for example for gas or for some spare change, so she can take her boyfriend out on dates. The works. Also, Fiona is still in school. Mary is graduating university with a bachelor's degree. She told me that she could no longer work her job because the restrictions don't allow her workplace to employ her anymore. She approached me, asking if I could help her out with some money to pay for the extra driving lessons she had to take. I asked her how many extra lessons she had to pay for, and she sheepishly admitted that she had to take 6 extra lessons. I was honestly shocked. One lesson costs $50, and now she had to pay $300. Plus, she doesn't even have a driver's license yet. I flat out refused to give her any money towards that because her sister didn't need any extra lessons and drives just fine. Mary teared up at that point. She said that she knew she shouldn't have asked me, that I always favored her sister, that I never considered giving her some money towards major purchases, which made her save up and never buy anything just for fun. She also said that she would give me the money back as soon as possible. I must admit, I laughed at that. That made Mary mad, and she started screaming at me, which she never did. She further accused me of spending so much money on her sister, even though she always blows it on useless stuff. I tried explaining to her that most of the money I've given to Fiona was so that she could invite her boyfriend on dates, so he didn't have to pay for everything, and that she didn't have a boyfriend until recently, so she didn't need the money. Mary left crying, calling me a nasty a-hole. I also talked to my husband about it, and now he is mad at me too. He told me to think about it and apologize to my daughter, but I don't think I should. I don't know if I've seen favoritism for one child this strong in a post before. How can you type all of this out and not realize that you're doing so much damage to your daughter that's lived frugally because they're scared of asking you for money? Yet you hand your younger daughter, who's terrible with money, hundreds of dollars, especially after she's moved out while still in school? Where are your priorities at, OP? What's wrong with you? Driving lessons are absolutely priceless, and I think it's absolutely necessary that Mary get them. You're an a-hole, and I think you need a good reality check. You're the a-hole. I'm really confused about why you keep giving Fiona money when she was never good with money. But when the hard-working daughter you're supposedly very proud of lost her job due to the pandemic, you were honestly shocked that she asked for what is ultimately a fairly small amount of money for an important purpose. It actually does sound like you favor Fiona if you're happy to pay for dates for her and her boyfriend, but not to help Mary when she's experiencing genuine financial difficulty. Also, confused as to why Mary asking for help is deserving of OP laughing at her. You're the a-hole, OP. You truly are a massive a-hole. Not even asking for help, but promising to pay OP back. Like, OP knows this girl is very financially responsible, so why wouldn't she pay you back? I think there's some stuff about the general family dynamic missing here. Once a favorite, always a favorite. It always shocks me how some parents favor a child over the other, sometimes for no obvious reason, and pretend like it's not true and still keep making the mistake of supporting an offspring over another. What kind of a heart does a parent carry if they see nothing wrong with that? You're the a-hole, OP. You're the a-hole. Your blatant favoritism will lead to nothing but resentment from your daughter. She is angry, and rightfully so. Just because she was independent does not mean that she doesn't need support every once in a while. She might cut you off forever for not helping her in need, and that would be justified. And the fact that you acknowledge this, and yet decide not to help her, shows how much you favor your other daughter more, and the kind of parent you are. So yes, you are the a-hole. I do hope that you mend your relationship before it gets too late, you apologizing. Posted by user Whistling Coyote. Titled, Am I the a-hole for sharing pictures of my bathroom after my new neighbor urinated all over my bathroom, my drywall, toilet, and trash can? They say they now don't feel welcome in the neighborhood. My wife and I wanted to welcome in our 2 new neighbors that moved in. For privacy, we will call them Blake and Jeff. We had an outdoor barbecue and had some drinks. Things were going well, we were all having a good time. Jeff and I are both into BMWs, so we had a lot in common. Blake asks us if he can use the bathroom, and I'm like, sure. He goes, comes back, everything's normal, and then 10 minutes later, they say they have to leave. I think about an hour later, I hear my wife scream. I go to check the bathroom, and someone urinated everywhere. The seat was dirty, the drywall was dirty, our carpets were wet. I get people miss, but this was deliberate, and there was no attempt at all to clean the mess. The only person that went into that bathroom was Blake. Honestly, I don't know what happened, but the only time I could imagine that would upset them was when my wife said her brother was a cop and that he was scared of doing this job. But that's it. Like, our conversation was 100% PC, nothing controversial at all. My wife talked to Sally and told them what happened with our neighbor. Sally didn't believe it, so my wife sent Sally the picture, and then it got shared by everyone in the neighborhood. Blake and Jeff didn't even deny it. Jeff messaged me that just because we had a conflict doesn't mean I need to go and tell the entire neighborhood. They said that as LGBT, they face enough discrimination and now don't feel welcome in this neighborhood because we needed to snitch. Like, what the hell? We had no problem with them. We wanted them to feel welcome, so we invited them over in the first place. And then they pee all over our bathroom. I don't even get it. Like, why? We never even had any beef or problem with them, and they do this. I am just so confused. When we tried to respond to their text, it shows never delivered. So it looks like they might have blocked us? I don't know. I don't see myself as an a-hole for sharing this with the neighbors, because how in any world is that okay behavior? Pro tip, OP, it's not. What they did is disgusting, deliberate, and I would drag them through the neighborhood. I would absolutely drag their names through the mud. Oh, you think this is snitching? Let me just message all of your family with pictures of you pissing all over my bathroom. We'll see how you feel after that one. Like, who genuinely thinks that's okay behavior and that it's alright to do this? You are some messed up simpleton if you think pissing all over a friend's bathroom is cool. The man wasn't even drunk, didn't give an explanation for why he did it, just blocked them. That's ridiculous. I am so confused, and OP is not the a-hole. Not the a-hole? The hell does peeing on your walls have to do with being LGBTQ, other than the fact that Blake can't even pee straight? Not the a-hole. If you pee all over someone's bathroom, you reap what you sow. It wasn't because they were LGBT+, it was because they were animals who micturated all over the bathroom instead of having a discussion like a normal human being. Pee on the floor like a dog, and people are gonna treat you like one. Classic, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you acquire a reputation as a mad dog, you'll be treated as a mad dog, taken out back and slaughtered for pig feed. Thanks, Roose Bolton. Very cool. What? LGBT isn't a free pass on literally peeing on other people's stuff. Not the a-hole. Yeah, we get a fair number of person X did something astoundingly inappropriate, but made me feel bad about pushing back due to their being a member of some discriminated against group. Am I the a-hole? I'm a firm believer in treating people how they deserve based on their actions towards me and those whom I love. I do not give a crap what color your skin is or who you screw. You be good to me, I be good to you. And if you are not good to me, I will not like you, and I promise it is not at all related to anything other than your own crappy personality. Same, I feel that. Posted by user Kakakaya. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not cutting my business trip short? I, 43 male, get a call yesterday from my wife, 44 female, that my daughter, 14, has been hospitalized for anorexia. She fainted while hiking with her boyfriend. My wife says that our daughter wanted to talk to me, so she hands over the phone to our daughter and we talk for a bit. My daughter asks that I come to the hospital, but I happen to be on a business trip and was scheduled to be in that city until August. The associate, 23 female, that accompanied me from my office is relatively new to the firm, and I feel like I need to be there should questions come up on her end. So I tell my daughter that I had work stuff that I couldn't miss and that she needed to focus solely on herself. She starts bawling, and that sneaking feeling comes up once again that a lot of the destructive things she does is a ploy to get attention. My wife accuses me of wanting to spend time with the new office hires and for being a part of our daughter's problem. Yet, from where I'm sitting, my wife is the one who has been losing significant amounts of weight in the last couple of years to the point that she's pale. Yet, I keep my mouth shut about that while she continues yelling at me. I finally have enough and hang up before I say something I'll regret. Am I the a-hole for not cutting my work trip short? I feel like if I did, I wouldn't be much help in my daughter's problem, and if she's doing this for attention, it will only encourage her in the future. OP, why are you doing this to your family? It sounds like you're the one with the heavy issues here, causing a lot of this to impact them. I don't know, am I reading this right? Because, Jesus, it sounds just like you're attacking them this entire post. It also doesn't sound like you make much time for your family. Your life is all about work, 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 and I'm not going to, spend a weekend here and there. I'm not going to take a trip off that I can take time off by the sounds of it to spend with your family, especially after your daughter has been hospitalized for anorexia and your wife is going down the same road. I don't understand why you can't help them and why you're so angry with them. I feel like you need help, and you are definitely the a-hole in this situation. You're the a-hole 3000. Your daughter needs you. She has a life-threatening illness, and you consider it a ploy to get attention? Oh my god. Edit, rereading the OP, this grabbed my attention. That sneaking feeling comes up once again that a lot of the destructive things she does is a ploy to get attention. I can't help but wonder what other trauma this girl has already survived that was dismissed by dear old dad as a grab for attention. And spoiler alert, if she ends up in hospital for wanting attention, she probably needs attention. You think? I started cataloging all the bad things in the OP, and that line might have been the worst. By the way, most awesome username ever, Picnic at the Disco. Lovely. You're the a-hole. Anorexia kills people, and your daughter is starving herself. Your insinuation that you need to deprive your daughter of attention in a critical moment in her life to teach her some sort of lesson is awful and wrong. And the idea that some 23-year-old associate at your firm needs you more than your 14-year-old daughter is horrible. Your daughter needs serious help. By the sounds of it, you and your wife do too. Jeez, I feel for you, man. I hate it when teenagers pull shady tricks, like literally starving themselves just to get attention. Of course you should stay where you are. Your new work colleague probably hasn't been with the firm long enough to, call or email you if she has any problems. Posted by user ThrowRA12832237. Titled, Am I the a-hole for changing parking spots because my brother was looking really wrong at a group of girls? Was I in the wrong doing this? I, male 18, was taking my brother, male 16, to Target to get some things he needed/wanted. We get into the parking lot, and as we are getting in, this car comes in next to us. And by the time I finish parking, a group of 5 to 6 girls our age comes out. As I was getting ready to get out of the car, I look at my brother next to me to tell him to put his mask on, and I see he's looking at the girls wide-eyed and mouth open. I tell him, "Dude, what are you doing? Stop that. It's disrespectful." He says, "Disrespectful to who?" I tell him, "To your girlfriend and to those girls." He says, "No, it's not." And he continues doing the same thing. At this point, I turn the car back on and pull back out of the parking spot to go park on the other side of the parking lot. As I'm on the way to the other side, he says, "What are you doing?" I didn't reply, and when I parked, he says, "What did you do that for?" I just tell him, "I told you what you were doing is disrespectful." He said, "It's none of your business, and now we have to walk way more." We went into the store, and everything was normal until we get back home. He told my mum for some reason, and she took his side. She said a bunch of stuff, but in summary it was, what your brother is doing is normal. If he wants to look at a lot of girls to figure out what he likes, then he can. If you're gay, stop trying to make him gay too. And if you're hurt you've never had a girlfriend, then get one. She then took my phone for 3 days. She just now gave it back to me. She took it for so long because I wouldn't admit what I did was wrong. I finally admit it just to get it back, but I'm still not so sure. I am starting to be convinced what I did was wrong, but I need more opinions, lol. I'm convinced your family is insane in the membrane. What is wrong with them? How is there any justification to what they did? And saying if you're gay, don't try to make others gay? Jesus Christ, how rude can you be? These comments came out of nowhere, and I don't see how she as a woman can be like, you know what? A creepy 16-year-old staring at me with his mouth open in the car is completely socially acceptable behavior, and we really need to continue doing that. In fact, we need to promote it. We need every parking lot to be filled with people watching me from their car, mouth opened, 16 years old. That doesn't track to me, and I don't see why they did that to you. OP, you're not the a-hole. Both your brother and mother sound like pieces of work. When I was his age, I definitely checked out girls my age. But come on, staring with his mouth open? That's not only disrespectful, it's creepy as anything. And you should point out what his girlfriend would think if she were there. Okay, thanks. Yes, I did it at that age too, and still do, but not staring. I don't think checking out is wrong, but staring is. Especially because he has a girlfriend, he shouldn't even be checking out other girls, much less staring. That's beyond staring. That's leering. That's the word they're looking for, alright? Your mother has that dangerous attitude of boys will be boys. You were correct. Having a quick look is no problem. Everyone does it. Oogling is definitely no-no territory, and it's worrying that your mother not only condones this behavior, but seems to be encouraging it. If your brother doesn't learn proper boundaries, the first time he starts this crap in a job, he will find himself in front of HR with a sexual harassment claim against him, and mummy won't be able to make that go away. I am so appalled at the comments by OP's mother. What in the literal hell? Even if she thought her younger son was doing nothing wrong, it didn't warrant saying those comments. As a mother of 3 boys, I could never put down my own child in such a manner. I would be proud that he is setting a good example. Not the a-hole. Your mother is enabling his behavior that honestly would make me super uncomfortable as a woman. If I'm going to Target with my friends, we're going shopping, not to get creeped on. Honestly, I think it was a kind and considerate thing for you to do. I hate when I pull up somewhere and have some creep staring at me. I think she is enabling. Ever since we were little, she has instilled my brother and I to check out girls, and my sister to check out boys. I used to be very shy, so I never did it, and around 2 or 3 years ago, I realized it wasn't right. My brother isn't shy, so yeah, he started doing it. I also find it really weird that my mum took his side, because around 2 months ago, some creepy guy in a car was following her. So she got on the highway, and she ended up having to do the rather dangerous maneuver of exiting the highway from the middle lane without signaling to mislead him and get away from him. Posted by user Got Milk, titled, "Am I the a-hole for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose-intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me? Me and 2 other guys share an apartment together, and we split all the bills. The only thing we don't split costs on is groceries. Everyone's in charge of buying their own food, and we don't touch whatever doesn't belong to us in the fridge. We put our names on everything so no one gets mixed up. The issue has been going on for almost a year, and I'm sick of it. One of my roommates, R, keeps stealing my food. I get home from work, and containers with my leftovers are sometimes missing. They have my name written on it, or my stuff finishes too quick. My gallon of milk, for example. I buy almond milk because I like the taste, but it seems to finish after a week, even though I've only drank once or twice. I confronted roommate about this lots of times, and that's caused a lot of arguments. He outright denies it and tells me I'm crazy, even though it's so obvious. My other roommates and I carpool together because we both work the same early morning shifts around the same area, so I know it's not him. It's always after we get back home, and R has already left for work, that I notice my food's gone. My roommate also had a similar problem, but not as often as I do. I'm guessing because R doesn't like what he buys. The funny thing is R buys a lot from himself, and is even more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. Last week, my milk was nearly empty again, and I got fed up. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. I drank what was left of my almond milk and refilled the gallon with the one I bought. This was to catch and prove R is the one stealing since he's lactose intolerant. The next day, Saturday, we get back from work and R is ticked. He yelled at me that he was stuck in the bathroom for 40 minutes with diarrhea because of my milk. He was using it to make a shake. I only responded with, "So, then you're the one who's been stealing." He frickin' exploded. Yeah, he admitted he was sometimes drinking my milk and eating my food, but he was more mad that I switched milks than the fact that he was caught. I told him I wouldn't have done that if he just stopped taking my stuff from the fridge, or at least told the truth, instead of trying to make it seem like I was making it up. My roommate backed me up and thought it was kind of funny that he got payback for stealing from us. It's a little tense right now, and my roommate told me R is trying to convince him to agree to kick me out. Little does he know, we're both looking to move somewhere else together because we are sick of his crap. I told some buddies what happened, and a few think I was an a-hole for that. I feel like I'm not in the wrong here. He was taking my food and not even owning up to it, and I wanted to prove it. Does that make me the a-hole? Look, we all get a little bit of diarrhea sometime or another, and we all need to learn our lessons. He chose to learn it the hard way, and he continued to stonewall you and just deny every time that you asked him about it. Think he kind of deserved what was coming to him there. You did it in a bit of a devilish way, but I don't think that you're an a-hole for doing that. And, this is one way to get him to stop stealing, so I support you, OP, and I don't think you're the a-hole. Not the a-hole. As you said, if R wasn't stealing your food, he wouldn't have had a problem. Also, it's not like this is a life-threatening allergy. It causes a minor, if smelly, inconvenience. As someone who has lactose intolerance, I can agree. You may get explosive diarrhea or be really, really gassy, but it ain't life-threatening. It can also become hella painful, although still not life-threatening and still well-deserved. Yep, I basically don't trust dairy products I don't purchase myself, so it's his own damn fault. Just like it's my own damn fault when I forget to ask for a substitute and get regular dairy. Not to mention the two have a vastly different smell to me. I always smell the milk to make sure it didn't go bad since the last time I use it. How does one drink most of the almond milk and the next day honestly believe the same carton somehow replenished itself? Not only is R an a-hole, but he's a dumb a-hole. He literally only has himself to blame. Not the a-hole. It's your food. You could have put your medicine in it, or even your pet's medication in it. You could have put a laxative in it, or even syrup of ipecac, which I've just learnt is a thing. And I would still say not the a-hole. When people steal food, lie about it, and don't replace it, they reap what they sow. Food is expensive, especially milk substitutes. Without replacing the food, he was essentially stealing money from your wallet. Oh yeah, it really is. I try to buy from grocery stores that sell all organic, so it does get pretty expensive. Not the a-hole. You can tell him how you could have done much worse, like peeing in the milk or putting vinegar in it. Instead, you went a somewhat mature way by buying a real dairy milk. I was gonna drink that milk too, so better it wasn't pea or vinegar, lol. Alright, and I think that's where we're going to leave today's episode, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed the content today. If you guys loved watching it as much as I loved making it, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel already if you haven't. Tell me what you thought of it down in the comments below, maybe like the video, who knows. I'd also like to take this time to thank my awesome Patreon and channel members. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably be homeless on the streets of Ireland, crying, Irish dancing all over town. It would just be a mess. But no, for real, you guys are up on the screen now. Thank each and every one of you guys. And if you personally want to join the club yourself, there are links down in the description below. There's also the join button next to the subscribe button. Small monthly fee, but hey, it goes a long way to help me create more awesome content. Well, with that said, guys, I hope you do have a lovely day, night, sleep, evening, day at work, day at school, whatever you're up to. I hope you keep awesome today. You're looking amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.